Survivor Season 41, Episode 9. We found out who's who in the zoo. And we're playing now, huh? I guess so. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Classically Christion here, and I'm coming at you with my breakdown and analysis of episode 9 of season 41. So, to start off this episode, we have the aftermath of what were just absolute fireworks from the previous tribal council, where Heather decided to finally make a move in the game and start her own personal live tribal. This did not go Shan's way because Shan didn't want to hear what Heather had to say, so rubbed her the wrong way basically, and she wanted to get Heather out. That was the switch up. Deshaun was not pleased with that. He thinks that Shan's basically being too irrational, which I have to tend to agree with, just stick with the plan that you had. It's not like Heather was going to mount some, masterful blindside in a matter of 2 minutes. Let's be realistic here. So, we're finally starting to see some tension boil between this new faction of 4, that faction that was formed right at the merge with Liana, Shan, Deshaun, and Danny. And it's not looking too good of a start for this alliance to start off with. I mean, what they assembled a few episodes ago, and now there's already tension there. Power struggle between Deshaun and Shan specifically. So we'll see how this goes. So we get a scene on the beach, and it's basically this Power 5 of Shan, Liana, Deshaun, Danny, and Nasir just sitting there. They're like, oh, this is who I want to be the final 5 right here, who's sitting here. And then we see on the other side of things, Erica and Xander are sitting together because they're in the minority. They're aware of it. They're like, they think they got life so good right now, but we're cooking something up over here, basically. And, well, let's just go straight into the reward/immunity challenge. Because in this reward immunity challenge, it saw the competitors split into 2 groups of 5, where 2 people had a shot to win immunity. But here's the twist: 2 people are going home as well. Those groups that they were assigned to would head to their each of them would head to their individual tribal councils, where one of those people would go home. So the yellow side of things saw Shan versus Ricard versus Heather versus Erica versus Nasir, and it was a showdown on that side. And then on the blue side of things, we had Xander going against Danny, going against Liana, going against Deshaun, going against Evie. And so they were hanging on. And also, once immunity was decided amongst both groups, basically whatever group of contestants people stayed the longest, they ended up also getting a feast, which was chicken and beef stew. So get down to the nitty gritty. The last 2 on the yellow side are Nasir and Erica. They're going and battling it out amongst each other to see who's going to win that individual immunity. And on the blue side of things, the showdown comes between Deshaun and Xander. And so on the yellow side, Nasir drops out, Erica wins. She ends up winning, but remember, if she can hold on longer than any of the other people on the blue, that yellow tribe also gets reward too. Unfortunately, Erica can't hang on any longer. She decides to drop out. She's won immunity, so good on her. And on the blue side, that showdown between Xander and Deshawn heats up. They're out there standing for a long time, but finally, Deshawn drops out and Xander ends up taking home this immunity win for himself, meaning that the blue tribe gets this beef and chicken stew. They seem to really enjoy that. They talk about it. And so now, in these two groups that we have, the yellow and the blue, they are headed to their own individual tribals. But first, we get some scenes on the island of each other, of each of their talks that they're having. So, the dynamics of the yellow tribe that we saw were obviously Shan was lucky enough to be with Ricard, who's her number one, as she keeps saying. So obviously they're going to vote together. Erica's safe, and so the votes, it's probably either going to go Heather or Nasir. I would have thought it interesting here if Nasir was just willing to have a little bit of leeway, because he could have sided with Erica and Heather and take a shot at Shan and sent her home. That would have been a big move here for to shake up the balance of power in the game. But Nasir thought he was so good in with these 5 people that he ended up, voting with them and thinking that it was going to be Heather going home. Now, mind you, this is an aside, but Nasir is thinking at this point that Heather voted his name at the last tribal council, but she didn't. It was Xander. And Xander, it's funny because Xander knew that Heather had been tossing Nasir's name around, so he voted Nasir intentionally to create distrust between those two, which ended up working out, I guess. He stirred up enough chaos, and they led to Nasir wanting Heather out. So that's the dynamics of that side. It looks like it's either Heather or Nasir going into tribal. On the blue side of things, obviously Xander has won immunity, which would have been Leanna's first choice to vote out for sure. I mean, geez, she really does not like Xander. I don't know what's going on there, but every time it shows him on the screen and then it shows her face, she is just absolutely disgusted with everything to do with Xander. So she's not happy about him winning this individual immunity. But tribal, the dynamics of this tribal council, let's talk about it. So going into it, obviously Deshawn is thinking, based on last tribal council, that Shan has had a little too much power, so he is considering a shift, and so he becomes the most important vote in this side and this group, because Danny and Leanna are likely going to vote together. And Evie and Xander are likely going to vote together, as it works in their favor to do so. So this would lead you to think, okay, Xander and Evie would probably vote out Leanna because Evie thinks she can pull in Deshawn to work with them. And on the other side of things, Leanna and Danny would be going after Evie because Xander has immunity and they want to take a shot at any powers that Xander might have in this game. So Deshawn's vote becomes the most crucial. We go into tribal council. And at tribal council, we have the blue tribe goes first. No, I'm sorry. The yellow tribe goes first. The tribe with Ricard, Shan, Nasir, Heather, and Erica. And so what happens there at that tribal, Tiffany is already sitting in the jury. And we end up going to a tie. And the tie is between Heather and Nasir. Shan promised Ricard to play her extra vote. so that they could for sure get out Nasir. But she voted once for Heather and once for Nasir. And yeah, that's what ended up happening. It ended up being a tied vote. And so what happens is that they have to revote, but obviously Heather and Nasir can't vote because they would only vote for each other. Go to a revote, Nasir's out. Okay. I guess they forced Shan's hand there, and she had to stick with her alliance of Ricard. This group of people, they kind of disappointed me here, especially Nasir, who is the one who ends up going home here, because I really thought that this could have been a big pivotal moment. They could have taken a swing at Shan, and I do like Shan. Obviously, a few breakdowns ago, she was my favorite player in the game at that point. But you know, she does have a lot of power right now, and blindsides are always fun, regardless, no matter who it is. So I was hoping that maybe he'd be more considering of that, but apparently not. And so Nasir ends up on the jury next to Tiffany, and then we bring in the Blue Tribe. Sanderson there with his necklace. Evie, Leanna, Danny, and Deshawn. And votes get read. It ends up being a 3-2 vote. There are 2 votes on Leanna, but the 3 votes are on Evie, which means Deshawn decided to side with Leanna and Danny, which is fair. Okay, so here's the thing, right? They end up getting out Evie, which Evie has no true alliance, even with Xander. She was never fully committed to that. So it's safe. And Deshawn, I think ultimately this is the best move for his game. Because if he would have voted for, let's say, Leanna and taken her out, then that, you know, adds more fuel to the fire of Shan's distrust of Deshawn. And since Shan is such a powerful figure in this game, now Deshawn becomes public enemy number 1 in this scenario. So it was the right move just for now, but somebody's got to take a swing at these 4 at one point or another. And it's got to happen soon, because that Erica, Heather, Xander crew, you're getting smaller in numbers. We saw in the trailer for the next episode that it looks like Shan's new faction of Danny, Deshawn, and Leanna, they want to get out Ricard, because that's another connection for her, which makes her like almost immune at this point, right? So somebody's got to go home soon. Something's gonna boil over. I really like Deshawn. I hope it's not him. I low-key want Deshawn to win the whole game. Xander's cool too, but like, I don't see a path to the end for Xander. He's kind of floating around. He's in that spot that you don't want to be in, where you almost have to win immunity every time just to slide by. The numbers aren't in his favor. Ricard, if he can survive this next episode, where it seems like they're going to be on his case about working with Shan, if he can slide by this, his threat level is low enough. He hasn't been a beast in challenges. He's kind of like, just coasting along. And this could be good for him. Card might be my choice as who would be in the best spot to win. Shan, she's got a lot going on. If she pulls it out, that would be amazing. I think one of her biggest issues to her as a Survivor player, not anything else, but just her as a Survivor player, is that she seems to lack self-awareness in the game, and she is unable to adapt because every time a plan doesn't go exactly the way that she wants it to, she starts to freak out. And because of this, she gets defensive, and she notices these traits in Deshaun, who is speaking up to her and is like, you know, I have my own ideas too. She notices that with him, she's not noticing it in herself, and I think that can ultimately lead to her demise in this game. As far as my thoughts about what's going on in this season so far, I'd basically say that Ricard is who I think is going to win. Deshaun is who I am currently rooting for to win. Xander is a fun character who has made a lot of good moves, but I don't think will win. And then I guess Shan would be the current most powerful player in the game. As far as the others, Heather, she is what you would classify as a GOAT this season. Somebody that you can take to the end that doesn't really have a resume up to this point. And I think anybody left going against Heather would be a win for them. Leanna wants to play, and, you know, she's capable. But her issue that I see is that she's been so dead set on getting Xander out this entire time that she's had her blinders on, and, you know, she's not seeing the bigger picture of things. And I think that will end up turning out bad for her. Danny is kind of just there. He's always a threat in physical competitions just because of his, you know, his athletic prowess and all that. And he's not in a bad spot. He's in a solid alliance, so he's good there. I just don't see him having the what would I say, like the killer instinct to cut off somebody towards the end that he really needed to. Let's talk about Erica. Erica is low key. I think she is really into playing this game. But she just does not have the numbers right now. Something drastic would have to change for her to get the numbers to get to the end, because I just don't see a path to victory for her. I think the real big shot here was losing Nasir. Losing Nasir means that you don't have the guy that is at the bottom of their 5 to pull away and join your own numbers. So it makes it tougher. It really does. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So let me know what you guys have thought about this breakdown analysis and my thoughts on Survivor episode 9 of season 41. Also, comment down below what your thoughts are. Debate mine, you know. Let me know why, you know, Heather is going to win the season, or Leanna is going to get it together, or any number of things. Really, just love to talk about Survivor. So, yeah, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe. Click the bell next to the subscribe button. Both of those things take no time at all. Just click the like button, takes 1 second, takes another second to click the subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subs on here. And if you have time, go ahead and check out the IG too, classically_Christion. I will see you guys in the next video.